Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. And here we are, 7 p.m. East Africa time. And tonight we are having this discussion. And when we talk about a discussion at the Alternative Voice, we mean an engaging session with one of our guests tonight. And we are talking about the environmental and climate activism talk with our guest tonight, who is Anita Soina. So joining us live is our guest. Good evening.
Good evening, how are you?
I'm good. Habari uliko?
Niko salama, nashukuru.
Maeneo gani? Kenya ama uko ughaibuni?
Nipo Kenya, Kajiado County.
Kajiado. Karibu sana. This is Alternative Voice, and tonight we are privileged to have you and to have this discussion to do with environmental conservation and activism on a topic that you are really passionate about. And so we would like to start. Our guests tonight, ladies and gentlemen, is Anita Soina, who is also passionate about environmental conservation and such issues in our society. So, uh, Anita, maybe you tell our audience who Anita Soina is, and before we start this conversation.
Thank you. First of all, thank you so much for having me today. I'm so excited to be sharing with the audience. My name is Anita Soina. I'm an environmental warrior, climate change activist, and author. And I love to call myself a positive social change catalyst. Yeah, so I'm so passionate about environment conservation. I founded Spice Warriors organizations that deals with educating young people on the importance of conserving the environment. And then I'm also a 2021 TEDx speaker.
Amazing. With all these titles uh, on you, and you've done amazing content, and the websites are outside here with so much content that you've produced, and your passion to fight for the environment and also to help others join your movement. And through the Spice Warriors, you've been in a position to reach so many people. So, Anita, you are based currently in Kajiado, and it's a county that I can say many of us in the country know that it doesn't have so much trees. Why and how did you come up to be a lover of environment conservation?
Okay, first of all, let me just correct that. I sleep in Kajiado County because my house is in Rongai, but I'm based in Nairobi County.
Nimedhani unaishi
I
on the other
sleep.
part, pale karibu na mteremko mali kumekauka kauka, na sasa
No.
unashangaa.
It's like I'm based in Nairobi County and then I just live in Kajiado, but it's all the same anyway because
Yes.
Nairobi has also lost a good number of trees. So it's
Uh-huh.
almost the same as Kajiado. So I'd
Okay.
say how I started conservation, mine is self-taught, as well as I'd say passion I discovered late because growing up, I always wanted to just do something in the community. And I remember when I started the organization, we first started with trying to feed people, trying to visit children's homes and all that because it was part of the SDGs. It's the first time I was learning about the SDGs actually. But when I came across SDG 13, I really read about it and saw the urgency. And since I grew up in a family where my grandfather valued trees a lot and he would be in really bad terms with anybody who'd cut his trees in his farm and all that. That time I didn't understand what it meant. And like in high school, I was a scout member. I was an official at the scouting club, and when you're in the scouting club, there are a lot of community work to do, and conservation. Planting trees actually was one of them. So I still at that time I just used to do it because you have to do it. You're the captain, and
Yeah,
you
you're
have
the
to do all
captain,
those
and
things.
others are also
Yeah.
watching you, and they want to do what you do. Yes.
Yeah, so at that time I was just doing, but after reading about it, I felt like maybe this is what I should have started long time ago championing for, but maybe it wasn't the right time yet. So that's how I found myself fully focusing on climate action.
Great, and that's SDG number 13 on climate action. And you've become an influencer and a voice to reckon with when it comes to climate action and that advocating for that climate action in the country. And at a tender age of 19, if I can get it right, you already founded the Spice Warriors. What's the story about Spice Warriors? Because I've interacted with a number of people, including the amazing graphic designer who did you a bumper and your intro. That's Brian for Chapolex. And
Yeah.
you really have that urge to pass your message outside there through this platform that you founded, that Spice Warriors. So what's the whole idea behind behind it?
Okay, so Spice Warrior started first as a name when I joined a mentorship organization called Spice Without Borders. That's where I actually learned about all these things, the SDGs. That's where I discovered my passion and all that. I realized for this you can't really do it alone. It needs a lot of because you know my aim since the first day was to educate more people and more people to learn the importance of protecting the planet through myself. And you know that one is not possible if I just do it alone. It's like saying I know I may not plant a million trees today, but in few years a million trees will be planted under my maybe under my inspiration or something, through my
Yes.
inspiration and all that. So at this time I just wanted to have a team that I could work with, and that's where the Spice Warriors came. The name, many people ask me whether I sell spices because it has no green, the name has no green tree or something as a lot of environmental groups have.
Yes.
So yeah, I don't like being normal. I don't like being too normal that if I tell you my organization is called the Green One, you already know what it is about. Because when someone asks you about it and they already know what it is about, they may not be interested to engage. But if you ask me and I tell you Spice Warriors, you want to know more, and that way I'll be passing the message of conservation again. So
Great.
Spice stands for the logo, which was like my symbol. It's the red pepper. To mean that I disrupt everybody at the comfort zone. This could be policy makers, it could be climate change deniers and all that. And warriors because I believe I'm a fighter and we all fight to protect the environment. That's where the name came from.
Amazing. Distract. And so if you're here with us
Disrupt.
to distract
Yes.
you
Disrupt.
from disrupt you from that
Yeah.
normal uh, from your comfort zone, and
Yes.
also to make you participate in this amazing journey. And talking of this journey that you've had, Anita, if it's all about creating this impact and also that disruption in the society, we talk about your influence as a voice of change, a voice to reckon with in the fight against environmental degradation, and also to fight for these green spaces that we have in our country. How how is your day to day like? Because you're a student, or if at all you've graduated, you can keep us up to date on that. How is your daily life as a student, as a founder of Spice Warriors, and also as an influencer at the same time?
I'd say it's really too much. Um, because I have to keep up with school. I'm not done with school yet. I'm in my final year. I'm supposed to graduate this year, and because of COP26, I'm not even sure if I'll sit for my exams. So balancing school and everything is a bit hard, considering I'm studying a very different thing from what I'm passionate about and what I do every day. Because I'm pursuing a Bachelor of Arts in PR and Corporate Communication. Well, everything I'm focusing on is just about environment and all that. Um, it's not really that easy because I find myself sometimes having a very weird schedule that I can't even manage. But then God is that I have someone who helps me. Even to remind me about certain meetings, sometimes I forget because classwork is here. You need to do assignments. You need to read for your cat. You need to keep up and stay updated on whatever is happening in relations to environment. You need to know that what is happening in this country today because when you're tackling climate change issues, you don't only look at where you're seated or around you or just your country and all that. You have to be updated. You have to know what the neighboring countries are doing to save the environment, what others are doing to damage, and you still need to, you meet many people every day and you need to keep up with them. It's a bit hard, but I just keep trying.
It's a bit hard. And
Yeah.
having said that, you also have someone to
Yeah.
keep reminding you on this. It must be really, really hard, but it's a passion and the path that you really chose to take. And so ours is just to appreciate you and to give you that right energy to keep you pushing. Thanks so much, Anita, for honoring this invite to be here with us. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us in this live broadcast is Anita Soina, who is an environmental activist and a climate change activist, taking seriously and following the SDG number 13, that's on climate action. And that's why we are here tonight to talk more about her passion and what's drive her. How can this inspire you as a person to create a change? By the way, last time we had an environmental conservation discussion. We had Ramina Paulette, who is doing a good job as well in Kisumu, and
It's my
she
former
passed
sister.
her regards to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Ramina is watching, Patricia Combo is watching, who is also a land loss hero here in the country. And so having such people within your circle, how does it make you feel? Akina Onjolo and all these people who are trying to fight towards the same thing, and at the same time, remember, there are those people are always opposing. How do you react to such in a country where not everyone is embracing such change?
First of all, to answer the first part of your question, is that it's something that I believe it's not only me, but other climate activists or environmentalists outside their fields. When you meet someone in the same field as you, considering it's a field that needs everyone, it's a field that needs all of us to it's a field that needs all of us to come together. So once you meet such like-minded people, you feel like it's a plus, and sometimes it keeps you going. Like, I'm not alone in this fight, because climate change activism, or just being in this climate change movement itself, is like a very tough fight. One thing they may never tell you is a lot of people go through eco anxiety. Sometimes you feel like it's just, you just need to drop everything, but having such people around you who keep pushing every day, and just believing that, you know what, it's hard, but one day we're going to just push it through. So I believe it's really something nice to have them around, and shout out to them. The second part is living in a country where people don't embrace
Embrace.
such issues. I'd say it's really challenging. And you know, here in Africa, a long time ago, people used to say climate change and all things is just a story, or something that will only affect people from the West. Well, people from the West used to say long time that it's Africans who are affected by climate change. But few days ago, we realized that Germany was flooding and other countries from the West are flooding. Now, here in Africa, we still have climate crisis issues affecting us really, like, directly. It's no longer indirect anymore. So it's something sort of painful, and it's something that we just keep trying to educate people, so that in few years time, at least we have, especially young people, because we're the ones who are affected the most. And then here in Africa, we are affected also the most, yet to contribute less. So if we as young people in this country just came together and say we are going to push together, we're going to act together, we're going to demand for justice together, it's still going to be something good.
Amazing. And we know at one point we'll be in a society where we all embrace various methods of enhancing and also promoting that good environment to be in. Thank you so much for that answer. And we are coming back to talk more on the challenges that you faced while advocating for such changes, and also your journey in activism in the country. Ni activism ile kama kina Boni, mwaishi kwa mahali. How has it been? Stay tuned for more of this. We are getting back to your comment section for your feedback. And also, ladies and gentlemen, we don't take it for granted. Asante sana for always being here with us to watch us live on YouTube as well as Facebook. Caroline Omolo following. Thank you so much. You can as well send in your comments and your feedback on our comment section. Feel free to share with us your thoughts and the questions that you have for our guest tonight, who is Anita Soina. I don't know why I keep taking the other eye,
Sonia.
the other place to call it Sonia.
Yeah, the first one. A lot of people call me Sonia. Actually, it's a few people who call me like Soina.
Soina. Let me be among the few people. I'm glad and honored to be in that bracket of few people. JL Empire asked this question: what motivates her, and what is her age? Who is her role model? Is there a change? Is there a change doing an environmental activism? We'll take these questions as they come in so that we can keep at par with them. So, Anita, I know you are not among those ladies who usually don't want to tell us their their age, and I know your age inspires someone, and someone
The
might
no
also be watching.
comments. But when it comes to that question, for sure, I never have the no comments type of answer. I feel bad every time when I'm growing old. So, yeah, I'm 21 right now. I'll be turning 22 in the next few months, and yeah, so I'll be getting old.
And that
What
makes you
motivates?
sad.
Yeah, and that makes me sad because there are a lot
Interesting.
of opportunities for youth, and when you're past 35, they are all gone.
By the
So I
time
feel
you
like
get 35, I know you already have a dream. What do you want to achieve by that time? Then we come back to this question by JL Empire. By 35, by the time you're exiting the youthful stage.
I just want to have left a legacy and to have impacted more people for sure. I just want to, every day I wake up to messages on my social media, especially on Instagram, people sending me photos of how they are visiting green spaces and they're starting to understand what we are fighting for, of how people starting to plant trees and all that. That makes me happy for sure. And mine is just to see that by the time I'm growing old, we'd have seen change through our hard work, and we'd have also seen more people inspired and more people joining the movement, and also to just have nurtured a generation of young leaders who will push and fight for environmental sustainability till the end. Yeah, that I think that's
Amazing. Are you are you seeing yourself joining the political space? And if called
yes.
to serve this country, would you be in a position to?
Yeah, I really before I even joined conservation, where actually I met my mentor in a political group where we were doing politics in Busia. I was just a 17-year-old girl, but I was in a lot of WhatsApp groups, and I used to help in drafting the messages that we used to post for campaigns and all that. And I feel like politics is something inside me. It's something that came all the way from my grandfather to his son, and then now to myself. And if given a chance, I would want to. The only problem is we get a lot of discouragement here when you're in conservation and all, or when you see this thing they try and call it the corporate direction and all that. You hear a
Yes.
lot of you can't be going to that corporate direction and you want to talk about politics. You can't have a political side, and then it makes me wonder. So if I want to maybe to push for some policies and all that, I can't do it from where I sit right now. Maybe I'll need to find my way to Senate. And for example, if I come from Bomet County and I need to get to Senate, it means there's that one political party I must be aligned to so that the people of Bomet can send me to Senate. So that way, the whole point should be how I'll fight myself in Senate, and then when I get to Senate, I'll be able to champion or maybe push for something that we've been trying to fight for when you're here. Because I like to remind people in the climate activism movement that every other time we address our problems, you will hear to world leaders, to our leaders, to so and so. So what's the problem? When we ourselves in this movement become leaders, it means you're going to solve the problem. So I think that's the most ironical thing that I find. But for sure, if I ever find myself, or if given a chance, I would want to just be in a better policy influencing position.
And that's an interesting point that you've just brought. And most young people, when they get these positions, and I can say you are alive in this country and you've seen those youthful people that have been elected. And once you get that power to represent your people, what happens? And do you think there shall come a time that even after getting to that position, you'll not be in a position to champion for more?
The only thing that maybe can make someone not to champion for something that that took them there is just the decision. It's you who wakes up and just decide that I'm going to be lazy throughout my term, and I don't think I'm going to deliver. But if you really want to, because looking at climate, sorry, am I there?
Yes, yes, you can still hear you.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Because looking at issues to do with climate change and all that, they are not waiting for the next term. They're not saying,
Yeah,
we need to face out so and so, so that when that one comes, you're going to solve the issue. It's something that we need to solve right now. So if I ever find myself in that position, maybe you say I don't deliver anything else, but that one for sure, it has to be my number one priority.
amazing, amazing. As part of your priority, what motivates you every time? Because there is that comment from Jail Empire. Then we answer the remaining part of his question. What motivates you, and who is this role model, this mentor? I think that you have.
Um, I think seeing other young people in the world trying to champion for the same and understanding that we're in the middle of a crisis and needs urgent action motivates me to keep going, because many times we feel like now it's done, it's enough. Considering this is something that does not really put food on my table, it's actually something that I put almost everything of mine to it. So, I mean, when you're in that situation, you have almost all the reasons to give up. But when you look at people like the late Professor Wangai Maathai, who were fighters and really pushed in what they believed, keeps me going. And I'd say Wangai Maathai is one of my role models. Also have another role model who's a DC Jokate Mwegelo. Other people call her Jokate Mwegelo from Tanzania. She's a true fighter, and she really leads. She makes leadership look so good that you would
Too
even want to
easy.
just, yeah, and make it too easy, and also give someone hope that it's not really that challenging. As much as it's a mountain, you'll
Mhm.
make it through the other side. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. We have Spice World, Tune, that's your team, maybe. Tune from Kayole, and they're following. And Will Smith, Omosh, nice discussion. I've tuned in from Kayole. Tell us where you were tuned in from, and we'll be here. Charles Ngesa Tekashi from Mombasa. I think that MSA is Mombasa. Shirokim has this. What advice would you have for students who want to get involved in climate change activism?
Um, you can do it from whichever place that you are. There is no formula, there is no style, there is no qualification, because I think the fact that you live in this planet is an enough qualification for you to fight for a better planet. And I'd say I'd just advise them to identify certain groups around them that they can join, and also help each other in championing for a better environment.
Amazing. And
And also, I'd say use you. Nobody has a small voice, or nobody's too small to make a difference. Whichever platform that you have, even speaking about it is action. Because sometimes through I remember there's that fig tree in Westlands. We had to demonstrate and speak about it, that it was not cut. Though we were not even talking about that one tree, we were just trying to use the one tree to symbolize other trees. But still, that showed how activism works, and everybody can make a difference from where they are.
nice, nice. You can make a difference wherever you are. It doesn't mean that you must be a student at any other school to make this work, but that's why we are here with Anita Sonia, ladies and gentlemen. We are talking more about environmental conservation and what pushes her, what motivates her to do such great things at a tender age. What were you doing at the age of 21, heading to 22? Some of you maybe were just, yes, you know what you're doing. Maybe at 19, she was already a founder. What are you doing at 19? Yes, that's why we are here with her tonight. Aweze kutupa motisha zaidi, zaidi. So drop in your questions and tell us where you're watching us live from. JK, good show and good initiative. That's to you, Anita.
Thank you.
We have this other comment. Nelson Munala tuned in anasema hivyo, and we have Don Oyugi watching live from Kochi, India. Trees purify the air. Trees bring rain. Trees prevent desertification. Plant a tree today and add value to the environment. Loving this talk. Listening to Soina. Asante sana,
Thank
Daniel,
you.
for tuning in from Kochi, India. And we have more comments. What motivates her? We've tackled that. Shirokim, how can you, how can one join environmental activism? Are there any forums or webinars for these two? Loving the show, watching from Nairobi.
Okay, yeah, we have a lot of groups. Actually, we have a lot of organizations in environment conservation, a lot. I personally belong to more than 5 of them, founded by different people. This is just one family, but I believe if you go online and just type environmental conservation organizations in Kenya, you'd find a lot. And I don't think there's any that will ask you for a certain qualification that you have to add this, because that's just common sense. It's nothing that you don't need to have a lot of qualifications. And forums and webinars, yes, they are. Once you find yourself in some groups, that's the importance of the WhatsApp group. When you find yourself in a group, I'm sure you'll be able to see a lot, and just always try and check environmental related pages. It could be the Ministry of Environment, it could be just any page or people that you follow. Because also looking at my online platform, I try and follow people according to the content that they share. So I follow a lot of people in conservation, a lot of organizations and groups, and that's where I'm able to be updated. And yeah.
Interesting. And so you can join them. You follow search anywhere that you are, and if you follow Anita on her social media platforms, you'll be in a position to get more info. Anita, how can those watching tonight get you on social media and maybe connect with you and learn more on these environmental issues?
My Twitter handle is Anita Soina. My Instagram is Anita_Soina. My Facebook page is Anita Soina. That's one with a blue tick. Ever since I got the badge, I've just been saying that. That's one with a blue tick. Anyway, so yeah, when you check my pages on social media, they're all Anita Soina. You always notice my real page from just the bio itself. Yeah. And
Amazing,
my
amazing.
website is anitasoina.com.
AnitaSoyna.com. We'll be having that website displayed on our banners, and I know the production team is working to ensure that we have that. That's the social media handles for our guest tonight. So, Anita, having talked about eco anxiety as part of the challenges that most these environmental and climate activists go through, we have 2 minutes to go. We'd like to get, what are some of the key challenges that you really wish can be addressed by the government, and is there a government also helping in this fight? And that's the same question Donna Yugi is asking. Do you think the government is playing its part well in environmental conservation? So combine that with the challenges that you face, and how can you advise the government as someone who's also aspiring to get in the Senate? God willing, I'll give you my vote. Nitaenda Bomet na nipige kura
That
na
was just an
nikuje Nakuru.
example, but yeah, when that
Yes.
time comes. So I'd say there are a lot of challenges in the field. Inadequate resources can be a challenge, not only to me or maybe to other people. And we also have the creating awareness. It's really hard for young people, bringing young people from different fields and trying to explain to them that nobody has told you to quit twerking. You can still conserve the environment and stay there is really hard. Trying to tell young people that you can still be in the arts and entertainment industry and still, I mean, nowadays conservation is linked to a lot of things, even to gender. You will hear you'll hear, sorry, climate change. You'll still hear climate change and food production, climate change and agriculture, climate change and fashion, climate change.
Yes.
So it's something that is connected, but trying to make people to understand that you don't have to drop what you're doing, or you don't have to be the Minister of Environment somewhere to do it. That's my biggest challenge, before I even mentioned resources. Ever, that's always my number one challenge.
Yes.
Another thing I'd say is lack of enough support and too much talking. If you watched Greta's first talk the other day, she just said, hope is not in the blah, 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 and telling people that there is planet blah, blah, blah. That's not where hope lies. Hope lies in action. So to link it with if the government is doing enough, We give credit where it's supposed to be given. There's something that is being done, but not really enough. Looking at people with capacity, people who can channel resources to this cause, and people who can not just come up with policies to make it look beautiful, but implement, make sure that the policies are implemented at them. The only challenge we have is there's too much. A lot are talked about, a lot are planned just to make it look like it's so beautiful, and maybe to show other countries that so such and such and country is doing this. But if you just try and follow up, nothing. It's like a lot of countries know Kenya banned plastic bags. It was a good move, but it's not really effective. Right now, a lot of mama mboga are still selling using that bag, and you can't even blame them. They'll tell you, I bought it from the market. Why is the person selling them? So they have the capacity to make sure that if it's the borders that are porous, they can prevent that. Because I love what my second home Tanzania did when the president was the late Magufuli. When he banned plastics, it was so effective, and they banned after us, but you can't find a plastic bag in Tanzania. That's something that any government can achieve. So I feel like we just need a lot of we don't need too many policies just being talked about or being put in place, but we want them implemented. I think that way we'll be in a very good position, because we have a lot of solutions. I'd say we have almost every other solution. If it's companies that are listed as the top polluters, we know them. They're always listed year in, year out. It's not like it's something hidden that we are still trying to discover. If it's banks that are funding the destruction of the planet, coal plants and all those things, they are always listed every other month. You'll find an article about it. But so why are we not doing anything about it? And allowing companies to tell us about their 2040 plans, when we are told that by 2030, climate crisis will be reversible. So are you telling us you're waiting for climate change to be irreversible so that you now start working on a recovery plan? Because 2040, 2030, that's something after. So I believe we need to have proper timelines that make sense, and timelines that will work for a better planet and for people to live better.
Amazing. We should work on the present, and that's why we are also having this discussion to try to pump in some sense to you through this discussion. We have this question as we bring this discussion almost to an end. Currently, who is your mentor in matters activism and climate change? That's a question from Efe.
In activism and climate change, I wouldn't say I have a specific mentor. I have role models, but I wouldn't say I have a specific mentor. But I go to very many people who are older than me, both age-wise, and people who are younger than me and have stayed in this field for long. I have a lot of people that I engage. So I wouldn't really say I have a specific mentor, but I am mentoring a lot of people. I have up to almost 12 people that I've adopted as my mentees, and they're all under the organization as committee members. I have a young girl who's just turned 9 the other day. She's also one of my mentors. And yeah, and I'm hoping to also find someone who I look up to in conservation and say this is my mentor. Otherwise, in the social change, catalysm, or I'd say the entire of leadership and just trying to be someone driving change in the society, I have one person who's Eric Masanza, the founder of Spice Without Borders.
Amazing. So if you are joining us, that's the website for Miss Anita Soina, a Kenyan environmental activist. Feel free to go check her work out on that platform. That's the website. Her social media accounts are also up and running. So find some time, pass there, see the amazing work, and you can join to get the newsletter, be it annually, monthly, weekly. She'll be there to serve you with more of that and such content. Follow her and also get to learn more about everything that she does. And bringing this discussion to an end, I would wish we are all in a digital age, and we are all on social media? How is the social media receptibility of whatever thing you're handling? How have you interacted with those who are against it, and how did you go with it? And those who are for it, how has it been? And we are in a society where we say anyone who is on social media, if he's a lady, everyone just wants to see you post your pictures and not what you do. How has it been generally on social media receptibility? How have you been received?
When I shifted fully to even posting a lot of environmental content, because long time I used to try and balance. I used to post them once in a while and then read the crowd and all that. When I fully shifted that way, I lost a lot of followers. I lost a lot of followers. I used to lose followers every day because young people don't want to see that. Like, why are you showing me that you went to plant trees? How is it my business? Why are you showing me that? Why are you telling me to avoid plastic? How is that even post? I can't even put fire emojis in that post and make anything good out of it. So it's not easy, especially looking at the young crowd. But honestly, as time goes by, I feel like they adjust. Some of them adjust to it, and I get a lot of nicknames: Mama Miti, Wamitri, all those nicknames, and people telling me, "We need to join you." And the fact that I've drawn most of the members of my organization from my social media platform tells me that at least as time goes by, things are changing. For those who support it, it's been a very I'd say they have really helped me look at social media in a very good perspective. Long time ago, when I was still young, we used to look at social media as something that, when you just see social media, you see peer pressure, you see stress and all that. But right now, I can tell you for sure, when I see social media, I see opportunities. Right, I don't have a physical office, but every other time someone wants to see my work, they'll always go to my social media platform. So it's something that has really, to me, it's a tool that has really helped me network with many people who are in this movement, and also I believe will take me to more places.
Amazing. Ukishangaa huyo mwenye ako kwa screen ni nani? Huyo ni Anita akiwa kazini. Hapo ni yeye akiwa kazini na anafanya kazi kweli kweli. And that's her. Uh, we had an internal joke on environmental conservation, and when we said we were hosting you, one of our hosts called KK Cedric alisema msichana anapenda miti. Kweli unapenda kupanda miti.
Oh yeah, for sure. I love sometimes people even misinterpret that. That's another challenge. When people want to tell you unapenda miti and they're all laughing about it, and then now it's serious now. You know what, guys? Let's go and join us. Let's go and plant trees. Everybody disappears. Unashangaa wale watu wangu wa miti wameenda wapi?
walikuwa wanapenda nini? Haya, sawa. Amazing. 38 minutes into this live broadcast, 38 minutes past 7 p.m. And now we bring it home and we'd like to get this comment before your final take. Wellington Ketera, that's amazing. Watching live from Runda, that's Alexandra Mark Ofula. Thanks so much, Wellington Ketera, always watching us live from Garissa County. Thank you so much. And we have Alex Onsase. I think this is just a comment and we'll just run through it. Why do environmental champions and activists face threats from politicians and all? Sorry to mention, recently kuna mzungu alidushiwa alikuwa environmental activist.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's also something that we also keep asking ourselves. We are even trying to wonder who will defend the defenders if this is what is happening. People have put profit over people and profit over the planet. Why I say so is because, as an activist, there are a lot of things that we try and fight for. Right now, we have few green spaces in town that are threatened by development. As an activist, you will try to protect those spaces, just like Wangari Maathai did. And you saw the torture that she went through. Maybe you heard about it, the torture that she went through. Just trying to make people understand that Karura Forest is a green space, and Nairobi being a concrete jungle, in one way or another, people will need to have this space. Us having Uhuru Park, something that's helping a lot. People may not know, but these green spaces help to reduce even the suicide cases, because sometimes when you're so stressed and you find yourself there, you get relaxed, you unwind and all those things. So trying to tell someone or whichever, maybe people that you mentioned, the wahusika, it's always like trying to tell them, you cannot build your hotel in this space because this space belongs to the people. It's where people should go and relax and unwind. They do not understand. If you have to tell people that, Nairobi National Park is a home to very many animals that are very, very important to our ecosystem, you should not build this and this inside the park. People will, yeah, it's always like a fight where I want to make money out of this and you're just telling me a lot of things. And I think it's because you're actually trying to protect, but for them it's always about profit, money before the people and the planet.
Thank you so much, Anita, for tackling that well. And to bring it home, you'll give us your final take. And right before that, how many court cases have you submitted in this fight? I know as environmental activists, some of you spend time more on courts trying to fight for the environmental issues. How many have you tackled so far with your team and even with others that are affiliated to you?
I'll not lie that I have. I don't know if that makes me a coward enough, but we've had petitions that we have worked on jointly together with other people. And right now we're also working on one on the coal plant. I think if Patricia is still watching, she can attest to this. There is an issue where the current budget has allocated money to coal plants, and when money has been allocated, it means it's something that's going to happen. It's like the first step towards doing something and looking at, that's sort of injustice to people living around the areas. One of our friends, who's called Eric Damian, had a conversation and sort of a talk with the people living in those areas where they've been marked for coal plants, and they are really scared. That's going to bring implications to their health. I mean, that is where the injustice, the climate injustice things, sort of things come from. So it's something that we're still working on, but finding myself in court personally, never, not yet, but I'm sure that's something that will come. We are still learning from Wangari Maathai as well, and other people who've tried to fight, even people who have tried to fight and protect forests just here in Kenya found themselves in court. So it's something that we are expecting any time.
Amazing. What's your parting shot as we bring this discussion to an end? We have Frank Willis. Nice one. That's wonderful. Pass my greetings to Anita. I'm watching from Rongo, Dala. That's in Migori County. Thanks so much, Frank Willis, for tuning in. Anita, take it home and let's bring it to an end tonight, 43 minutes into this live broadcast.
As we listen to science when it comes to COVID, we don't need to ignore the same science when it comes to climate change, because for climate change, there is no vaccine, no self-isolation, there's no quarantine. So it's time that we just take this as a crisis that it is and treat it like it's urgent. That way, then we're going to, there's hope that we can still make it if we do that.
There is hope, and we are the holders of that light to environmental conservation. What a way to bring it to an end tonight. And thanks so much, Anita, for accepting our invite to be our guest tonight and to share your journey, your story in environmental conservation.
Thank you. And thank you so much for having me once again.
Welcome. And thanks to all the viewers who managed to join us live. I know we changed the date, and apologies. Next time, we'll be back to our normal time at 8 p.m. East Africa time on Saturdays. And remember to follow and to subscribe this page. Thanks for watching the show tonight. Happy weekend and enjoy this night and the rest of it. Till next time, I've been your host, Clefas Watch. Have a good one.